Come on. This is my turn trying to be a host of a call like this because I'm usually being asked to do this. But anyway, one here who I have said in the past I think is a very underrated Sunderland YouTuber and one who I do feel deserves more recognition. But nevertheless, Thane SAFC. Now, I don't know what, I'm guessing that's just what you want me to call you, but here he is. How are you doing, lad?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you doing?
Well, non-football fight pretty well. Yeah, that's a top together, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But still, anyways, I kind of wanted to try and get a couple of videos with Thane to try and just ask him about YouTube and ask him, and then the next video we'll probably try and talk about the horror show that's Sunderland AFC at the moment. But I wanted to ask you firstly on your two channels, because you've got Thane ME2 as your first channel, and you've got Thane SAFC. Correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, Thane, you've got Thane ME2 as one of your channels and Thane SAFC as your other one. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay then. So what made you want to start your first YouTube channel, Thane ME2? Because I noticed your first channel, I think, was back in July 2016. Because I had to try and I had to do a little bit of digging to make it look deep and asking you these questions. So when and why did you start YouTube? What appealed it? What?
Well, to be honest, at first I didn't really have any interest in YouTube or anything because I was back at college. I think it was back in 2013 or 14. I had to create a YouTube channel for a course. Didn't have to upload videos, just you had to get a channel, do a screenshot, and then I think it was about 2014 or 15 I started doing some small videos and stuff, and then it turned into a lot of gaming related stuff and that. Even though there's still a lot of stupid stuff on the channel as well. But yeah, I wasn't really planning on doing it, but then just kind of clicked. And obviously I did some Sunderland stuff on the main channel at first, but then I thought, well, we've got a mixture of game and stuff and things like that, so I thought, why not do a Sunderland channel just to focus on all football and Sunderland related content?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching, I think I used to watch, even before you started the Thane SAFC channel, I watched for the Sunderland stuff, because obviously that's what I'm interested in, but I remember watching quite a bit of it on your Thane ME2 channel. When did you create Thane SAFC again? Was it like a year ago?
It was last year, because it was the start of last season, yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's not new for us to watch League One crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how do you feel you've progressed as a YouTuber? Because obviously I think I remember at one point, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, back, you didn't have that many subs. Yeah, I think it's probably about 25, 30 subs, or at least on Thane SAFC anyway. And now I think you've gone past 200 or close to 200.
I think the last time I checked, I think it's on 194 subs right now.
Sorry, how many?
So, 194.
Right, guys, come on. Let's get past 200. Yeah, let's go to 500 subs. Yeah, I mean, once you keep going up and up and up, your subscriber count tends to go up the more that you talk. But then, so how do you feel you progressed both on either on Thane ME2 and SAFC? How do you think you progressed as a YouTuber? Do you think that have any nerves in doing it? Do you have any nerves talking on camera and putting it out there? Because obviously YouTube's a huge platform.
I mean, I think anyone that's doing YouTube is going to have a bit of nerves when they first start doing it and stuff. I mean, it's like when I started doing live streams on my main channel and stuff at first, I felt I'm doing too comfortably talking and stuff. But then eventually that just you get used to it eventually and I got no problem with the camera and stuff. So, yeah. So I would like to say that I've done okay and stuff. Even though I would still personally say, in my opinion, I might sound a bit hard on myself. I think the content is shit. Is it okay to swear?
Sorry, say that again?
Is it okay to swear in this video?
Yep, swear if you want, mate. Go for it.
Alright. Yeah, I think my content's shit personally, and that's what I actually think realistically of that. But yeah, I think I've done okay-ish, I suppose. But, yeah.
Right, I used to respect opinions, but I'm going to say your opinion's incorrect there because I actually don't think it's shit. I think sometimes whenever I see your reactions, I actually I literally go to the video almost straight away more times than not because I think you actually do talk sense in when you're actually talking about Sunderland, for example, because. And I noticed he mentions me a few times in his video, which I actually really do appreciate, which you don't have to do. But still, I think it's the same thing that gradually the more you get used to talking on YouTube and the more that you get used to seeing and hearing yourself on camera, you're more content you are with it. If that makes any sense, you're kind of more used to the idea of actually seeing yourself and hearing yourself, presenting yourself over and over again. And it's about, and you get quite a few comments that actually agree with you on what you're saying in the videos as well. So I mean, it must be quite encouraging. You can see other people are starting to take notice.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, when did first start doing obviously that the Thane SAFC channel? First you were doing the videos and stuff, and you weren't really getting any comments. But that didn't put us off or anything, because what the difference between the main channel and the Sunderland channel is, the Sunderland channel is all about just voicing your opinion, letting your feelings out there about Sunderland and stuff, or even football in general. So,
yeah, but if that's the case, what do you think your best YouTube, both on either channel? Doesn't really matter. Is there any one that you've gone fond and you think, actually, I'm really happy with the way that one turned out?
So best Sunderland video.
Well, either Sunderland video on either channel, your best Thane ME2 video or best Thane SAFC video, whichever one you want to go with. Is there any one that you look back on and you think, oh, I'm glad that I did that the way I did it?
This is a funny one, because it'll be easy to remember off the top of my head with the Sunderland channel, because with my main channel, I think I've got 1,500 odd videos, so it's hard to actually remember off the top of my head.
Okay, we'll make it easier then. Thane SAFC, what would you say is your best video on that, or one of your favourite ones? Yes, I'll put you on the spot here because I'm sick.
Yeah, you certainly have, yeah. I mean, you said recently you thought one of your videos was the best one. Is what's going on with this club? Maybe that one?
Yes, I do believe it was something along I think because it was when you were really going full throttle on the ownership. Obviously we'll get to that a bit later on, but yeah, I remember that, looking at that and thinking, yeah, this guy can kind of talk sense and he just seemed to speak your mind, which I think a lot of people do seem to appreciate when you do it. It's actually quite incredible how many. Like I say, I'm not trying to make this about my channel, but whenever I've spoken, a lot of people have said, you talk sense, or I really agree with you. Obviously, you get some people who think I talk shit, and to some extent I probably do, but, I'm quite appreciative of the fact that people seem to value what I have to say, and I even get people on Twitter and all that, because I don't think you've got any social media as far as I'm aware. Correct us if I'm wrong, by the way. But, okay, fair enough. But you're probably better off with that sometimes, to be honest. Sometimes it can be a pretty but more often than not, I find it good. But you get people on Twitter and tagging me on Twitter and asking my opinion on a certain thing. It's I don't really have a right to comment on this, but you're asking me anyway, so thanks.
Yeah.
Still, anyway, I'll just sort of wrap up this section. What do you think as a Sunderland fan? Well, first of all, how did you get into football?
I think we're very similar in the whole aspect of getting into football, because we both got into football very late, didn't we? I mean, I can't remember, when did you get supporting someone to get into football again?
2010, that season.
All right. Well, with me, I think it was 2006, 2007. So, I mean, I don't remember an awful lot about the Roy Keane promotion, but it was mainly, Roy Keane, in the Premier League first season. That's when I started more interest in Sunderland, so it was basically in 2007, yeah.
Okay, then. So, and then, well, if that's the case, then, what would you say, a bit more than me? So, I came in a few years later. Basically, according to Stuart Donald, it's both of our fault that the club's been shit for so many years, because ever since we've started supporting them, we've gone downhill massively. So, that's right. Okay, so if that's the case, then, what would you say is the best and worst Sunderland moments since you've started supporting them?
I mean, there's a few off the top of my head, but I'll just go with one each. So I would say
we'll make it a list: 5 best, 5 worst.
All right.
Really put you on the spot.
Yeah. I'll start with the good. We'll leave the bad till last. But
go on then. 5 good moments.
I think the first one I'm going to go with is I'm going to say when we beat Newcastle 2-1. The Kieran Richardson free kick. Why not?
I regret not being able to witness that.
Yeah, just fantastic goal. I mean, to be honest, I didn't actually watch the game. It's just the highlights and everything. And that. It's just what a goal to win the derby. What a fantastic goal. Number 2, I would say Arsenal 0, Sunderland 0. When Dick Advocaat, kept us up where we needed just a point to steal.
Okay, fair enough.
I've always thought Sunderland is absolutely shit defensively, right? But this game, I would actually say, is probably we have to thank Pantilimon and some poor Arsenal finishing, but also you will see that it's probably the best we've actually defended in a long time.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was literally your body's on the line type of performance, and we managed to thankfully scrape a bit of survival, didn't we?
Yeah, Jermaine Defoe playing at left back. So.
Oh God, I remember those days. Jermaine Defoe at left back. What a terrible masterclass.
Yeah. Third one, probably Sunderland 3, Chelsea 2, and that's just really good.
Atmosphere is probably the best I've witnessed the Stadium of Light. I know the Everton game obviously is that way. The whole the atmosphere in the Everton game was class, but that moment all put us 3-2 up in that Chelsea game. Literally, the noise exploded at the Stadium of Light, and it just makes me annoyed that if you could get it half right, that is what you could have. That is what you could have.
Exactly. And it's funny in that, like you mentioned about Everton, because that's the next one, Sunderland 3, Everton 0. I mean, that's just fantastic.
I think we're in 6th for linking it together.
Yeah, I feel something left. But that was a really good game. I mean, Christ, when was the last time the Sunderland centre-back scored twice in one game? Really?
I don't know. I tell you, that same season when you talk about centre-backs, do you remember the 3-0 win over Newcastle? You know the one when they all have a cry river about a red card? The 6-0 game. But it was when Kabul decides to turn it to David Silva and puts in a brilliant cross for Stephen Fletcher for the 3-0. Hang on a minute. When's Kabul, a centre-half, been able to do that?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in the Everton game, Kabul did something similar in that way. He ran all the way down the wing, he cuts in, he kills it, effort just wide of the post. Yeah, Kabul was really actually good going forward sometimes, even though I think he used to forget he was...
That was at 0-0, wasn't it?
No, that was when we beat Everton for 3-0. Kabul just...
It was 0-0 at the moment. He did that, I think. Do you think Kabul, right, I want the highlights here. I want to be the one who helps keep us up. Let's go for a spectacular volley.
Yeah.
Okay, and number... What would you say your
favourite? I know we lost this game, but the couple of one finals, man.
I can see why. That still to this day remains the best chance that I would see of Sunderland getting a major trophy in my lifetime. And I don't know if you have Netflix or if you've watched Sunderland Till I Die, but there's basically a woman on there that there was an episode dedicated to our checker trade run, and one of the fans said on there about the checker trade, I would just love to see Sunderland win something in my lifetime. And with all due respect, as much as she seemed a lovely person, it's the checker trade, love. Come on, it's the checker trade. Don't count that major trophy.
Yeah.
When I say win something, I mean one of the domestic cups like the FA Cup or the League Cup.
It's actually something.
I would anything to see us beat Man City that year. I'd have took relegation if it meant beating them. Just to see Sunderland actually being able to win some silverware, some major silverware would have just been special.
I mean, we lost the game, obviously, but you were proud of that because they were shifting.
No, we played well though, didn't we? And we only got caught. I know 3-1 looks fairly comfortable, but the last goal was at the very end when we were pushing for an equaliser, and we got on by 2 world-class strikes. So
it took Man City like quality goals to break us down. It wasn't individual mistakes or anything. It was just wonder goals.
Exactly. I mean, I personally, maybe in some respects, I thought Sammy Nasri's could have been marked better before he struck it, but I'm just a defensive freak. I always analyse goals too much. We conceded too much. Right, the juicy one, 5 worst. You got much more options to choose from here, like.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's so many. You might think this one would be near the top, but I think the first one is obviously Southampton here, Sunderland 0. Just really, really bad.
There's one where Virginie decides to turn it into Perlo and stick back of his own net.
I mean, this might sound weird because at the time, but I actually thought, even though we might have been 2-0 down at the time, I didn't think we were playing that bad, really. I mean, we should have had a penalty in that game as well. I mean, I know this is ages ago and stuff. I remember Fletcher got pushed over or something. It should have been a penalty, but obviously it didn't happen. But the way we could it all was still embarrassing. It really was. It's
okay. We got our own back on Southampton. We beat them 2-1 in the reverse game later on that season. So Jordi Gomez 2 penalties. Got to step up, take them. Pressure situation.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get worse. Come on.
Let's get worse. This was in the Championship. I think this was the score, if I remember correctly. I think it was Sunderland nil, Brentford 2.
Yes, that was in the Championship.
Yeah. I hated this game so much because this was like a whole Chris Coleman problem. Like, so many teams would come to the stadium and play us off the park, dominate the midfield and stuff, and we would just everyone would just be on the ball and stuff, and it was horrible. It was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. We offered nothing.
I remember you weren't. Correct me if I'm wrong here. You weren't a big fan of Chris Coleman. Is that right?
No, I wasn't. Because fair enough. If a manager has his own system, he has his own tactics, right? He has his way of playing. That's fine. But if you're not getting results, you've got to do something about it. You've got to play change. You've got to change personnel, and he didn't do anything.
No, he just stood back there for him. I don't think Coleman deserves as much blame as Grayson got, although I do think Coleman's massively susceptible in that both of them had a squad that should have been good enough to stay in the league, in my opinion, and neither of them did enough to really stop the rot. And if you look at it, actually, even after Lewis Grabban left, we were still scoring quite a few goals. There was more games we scored in than didn't score in. So the big problem was we kept conceding goals at the back and not learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Said so himself.
Now, even I agree with you. Personally, we also going into that season in the Championship, that team for me should have been mid-table or knocking on the playoffs.
I think so. The one Grayson had, I definitely think. I did expect to go up because I did think it was going to be like Villa the year before in 15-6 or 16-17, whatever it was, that there was going to be too much to sort out. But I did definitely believe we should have been way better than bottom three, though. And I'm still to this day baffled as to how, personally, in my opinion, I'm baffled as anyone can claim that squad should have got relegated. Piss off, it shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Not for the finish below Bolton Wanderers, who barely had any money to spend, Barnsley, and Burton fucking Albion, I think tells its own story.
Exactly.
Go on then, next. We've got another 3 worst ones to go yet.
Right. All right. This is unfortunately this is a derby game, like Newcastle 5, Sunderland 1.
I had a feeling you were going to.
Yeah, really bad. The fact, I hate this guy straight away, but Kevin Nolan's going to have to be on the jail.
I was just saying, does this stupid chicken dance?
Oh, I hate the dance. Just so stupid and pathetic. And he's like David Moyes' number 2 now at West Ham.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I'll not talk about David Moyes. I'm going to go on a 5-minute tangent if I do.
Yeah, but obviously, that game was just really bad. And that's the thing. They just came up that season as well from the Championship.
But there you go. That's just how it is. We'll remember the derby games since, after the over-the-wall 1-0 game. Let's just remember the good ones.
Yeah.
Go on then. Number
4. The Checkatrade Trophy defeat against Portsmouth.
I'm going to guess, because I remember you weren't a big fan of Jack Ross either. I'm going to guess you were like the whole, we dominated the first half and then spent the second half sitting back and then just invited pressure, and then look what ended up. I personally believe for Portsmouth's equaliser, I purely blame Reece James for that, because if you watch the goal back, as the cross comes into the box, ball watching and not aware Nathan Thompson's right behind him and doesn't even try to jump for the ball, or he's not even aware someone's jumping behind him for the ball. If he jumps, he clears that head, he heads that ball away, and it at least gives it. And I'll actually say that if we stopped that goal, we would have won the game, because Portsmouth would have got desperate and our shots would have gone wayward.
Yeah.
I wasn't overly bothered we lost that game. But, when you're at Wembley at the time, I don't know if you were able to go, but when I was at Wembley at the time, I was thinking when 1-0, I screwed it, I want to win at Wembley. But some of the mags would have been like, oh, look at you celebrating winning the Checkatrade Trophy. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, at least we've actually beat the Wembley more than them in the last few years.
The problem is they can come back and argue, oh, we went to Tottenham. It's like, well, yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I will stress the claim, you do get some sensible Newcastle fans, but there are some Sunderland fans, to be fair. Both sets of fans have supporters who are Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
But one more. I think you need to take one more bad Sunderland memory.
Well, I think you know what's probably coming. It's the Charlton Sunderland playoff final. Very bad.
Don't really need to say more there, do we? Speaks for itself.
It does.
We got gifted. All I'll say is we got gifted a goal and we still couldn't be bothered to hold on to get the win.
Yeah.
Right, guys, it's going to be the end of this particular video. In the next one, we're going to get into the also really juicy stuff and talk about the current state of our shit show of a club. So there you go. love yous and leave yous for this bit, and we'll see you for the next one.